Hey everyone, welcome back to Miniature Painting 101, a series of videos where I teach you all about painting miniatures from start to finish and everything in between, including freehand. And this is part 106, freehanding flames on a vehicle. But you can apply the same thing to shoulder pads if you want to do it on shoulder pads or anything you want. So today we will be freehanding some flames in two different patterns on this orc truck on the very front. I'll be showing you two different patterns. The first one is just the edges, the very tips of the flame. And then the second one is with the whole flame on the same part. So we'll start off with weathered stone. It's basically an equivalent to Administratum Gray. It's from Reaper, and it's pre-thinned. And as always, we're going to use thin paints, a nice sharp-edged brush, and we'll start off with the skeleton and then fill it in as we normally do with freehand symbols. Same things I always do. So we'll start off by creating the very tips of the flames, as I call it, not the whole flame on this. You'll know what I'm talking about at the end. So we'll start off at the very bottom of the part that we're doing the flames on, and then we'll just do the wavy patterns, trying to end with a nice sharp point. Basically, we're just doing a couple waves and bringing it to a point. And the next step, of course, will be to fill in the skeletons, so we'll be expanding it. And you can expand it to as thick or as thin of flames as you really want. I like doing my flames really thin, but some people like to do them really, really thick and wide. With a couple waves, so that's good. So this is how we start off by creating our waves, and now that we have our skeletons of our flames, we're going to fill them in. So as you can see, I'm just filling in a little bit at a time. And the key is with flames is you want it to be almost triangular, as in you want it to be widest at the bottom and then go towards a sharp tip at the top. So with each increasing level of flame, you want it to get thinner and thinner. However, it's up to you on the thickness you want. Second is you want a couple waves to give it some life. And the reason why we're going with a gray over the red is just to present a neutral color before doing the yellow, so we can get really nice, truer yellow, nice bright yellows on the flames. Otherwise, if we did it over the reds, it would take several steps to do. So as you can see here, right now I'm just cleaning up and filling out the flames, just making them larger in each direction. And of course, triangular is the thickest at the bottom, thinnest at the very top. And especially around the curved parts, you really want to get them nice and thick. So I'm going to save my time, and with nice thin down paint, we will be creating these flames. Now, as I said, this part is just the tip of the flames, as it shows on like shoulder pads, and then I'll be doing the whole flame on the same thing afterwards. So then next we'll go with AVERLAND Sunset, the dark tone yellow from the Citadel range, and as I mentioned in all my videos, I do thin down my paints using a medium. That way they're nice and thin, and they go on nice and don't go on too thick and clumpy. So I'm just going to go over the flames with the yellow, of course, and if you do go a little bit to the sides, it's actually okay because it'll create a bit of an orange tinge to it and just another color to the flame. But try to stick as much as you can within the grays. And as you can see now that we've done the gray first, it gives us a nice outline, and it's much nicer of a yellow than it would be if we went over the red directly with this yellow. We'd have to do 2 or 3 coats, probably 3, just to get the same color. So right now I'm just filling it in with the AVERLAND Sunset. Carefully going through it. And next, of course, we'll clean it up later with the background color, the mid-tone of it, of course, being red. And now we're going to go with YRIEL yellow and try to go as much around the edges as possible. And we're going to just start at the middle point of the flame and work our way upwards. That way the darkest part is AVERLAND Sunset and the lightest part is YRIEL yellow. And this pattern is a lot of people prefer this type of pattern for the flames. You don't need the whole flame on that part, and other people prefer the whole flame. So after this, I'll show you how to go from this just to the whole flame pattern. It's pretty simple, and you can easily just do it with the gray. So I'll be repeating with the same colors. So now we went over the YRIEL yellow, and there's a nice of a gradient. We're going to clean it up with the mid-tone color of the background. In this case, Evil Sunz Scarlet. And we'll thin it down using some medium, and then we're going to just go carefully along those edges and clean them up, kind of like a tracing of the flame pattern. So as you can see, I'm just going carefully along the edges of the flame and bring it to a nice sharp point at the very end, because that's where we really want a nice sharp tip. And then I'll go back over and clean up the sides, as you can see, just carefully, stroke at a time. And it's much cleaner after this, as you can see, and it looks much nicer after cleaning it up. And I'll repeat this with the other 3 flame parts. And this is what we have. As you can see, they're nice. They're very thin. I like my flames thin. Some people like them thicker. But this is basically it, how to paint flames on a vehicle or a shoulder pad or anything. But the other pattern that many people like to use is to have the whole flame on the part. So here's how to go from this part if you want the whole flame. So the difference between this and the whole flame is the whole flame will, as you can see, it'll diverge into its individual streams of flame much higher than it did in our first one. So all we're going to do is we're going to bridge these flames by just doing a half circle between them. That way it has a little bit of loop, and feel free to do it at different heights, because that way the flame looks different and it's not just a monotonous flame. It's alive and moving. And we'll just fill in all the area beneath our connections. So that way the actual flame is on the bottom of this part of the truck, and then it's diverging about halfway up. And as I said, the good half circles connecting each part at different heights makes it look the most realistic. So right now I'm just taking my weathered stone again and just filling out the bottom part, as you can see. And then we're going to go with the same colors as we did before. So first, AVERLAND Sunset along the entire bottom part. And this is a cool flame pattern as well that people really like as well, because that way it has the whole bottom of it is a flame as opposed to just the branches of the flame. Now if you're doing the branches of the flame, always go to the very bottom of the symbol or the very edge of the shoulder pad, depending on whatever you're doing. As you can see right now, I'm just painting in all the gray, and it's already starting, as you can see, it's a whole flame on that part, and it's going upwards. Let's repeat the same processes with the same colors. So after the AVERLAND Sunset, of course, we'll then go to the YRIEL Yellow. So now we have the YRIEL Yellow, and for the YRIEL Yellow, I'm going to do the outside of the flame, leaving the inside, the very center part of it, the AVERLAND Sunset. Of course, I thin it down as always. I'm using a wet palette, so I'm using the same batch of paints as I did before. As you can see, I'm just carefully starting at the top and along the edges, and leaving the center of the AVERLAND Sunset. And then finally, I cleaned it up with some SUNZ SCARLET, and here is the resulting flame pattern. So as I said, both of them are actually really cool, and for this one I tend to go a little bit thicker because of the flame part at the bottom. It's a good way to connect them is to make them a little bit thicker towards the very bottom of these flame branches. But that's it. So as always, thank you so much for watching this episode of Miniature Painting 101. I really hope you enjoyed painting Orky flames. And stay tuned for part 107, which is just around the corner. But if you don't want to wait for next week, check out The Warp. Click on the link below for a free 14-day trial to my other premium YouTube channel, where not only we get to see the next 6 months worth of Miniature Painting 101 episodes before anyone else, we get to see over 100 start-to-finish painting tutorials, dozens of battle reports and face-off episodes, an Airbrush 101 series, a Q&J series, just tons of content. Go and check out The Warp. I know you'll love it. So stay tuned for more episodes. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting, everyone.